guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I am taking a wee break from my Celestial Sisters dolls. I'm gonna paint my black cat lady next, I swear, but I found this weird ukulele fake bootleg Ever After High doll at my local grocery store, and I just desperately wanted to open it up. I've been waiting months to do this, so I decided to give her a new face today. I have a little bit of a fascination with bootlegs. I don't necessarily support them, but I just think it's really interesting to see how they compare to their original counterparts, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you how she compares to Monster High and Ever After High dolls. She actually came with a surprising amount of accessories, and Homegirl got bald spots for days, which is just really sad. Like, they gave this lady no hair. Alright, so let's talk about this doll and how all sorts of weird it is. It is obviously modeled off of Apple White. Like, she has the blonde hair, the pale skin, but she has a Monster High body and a Ashlyn Ella face. Like, if you take the makeup off, which I'm going to be doing in a little bit, she doesn't have the face mold of Apple White. She has the face mold of Ashlyn Ella because the lips are a little bit poutier, which I actually like. I think it balances out the face a little bit more, and I also think the face is kind of thinner than like Apple White and Raven Queen from the Signature line. So I don't know, I find those things fascinating. I found this doll very fascinating because she's just like a mishmash of all sorts of stuff. So the first step is to cut off all her downright offensive hair. It felt terrible and it looked pretty bad, so I was happy to like hook her up with a new weave, you know. I soak her head in hot water to pop her head off, and I actually had to hold her in the cup because her body was so light, like the plastic of it was so different than a normal doll. Honestly, it felt like she had like action figure plastic on her body. It was like not the same type of plastic that doll plastic is. After that, I scrape her head kind of aggressively with pliers to get all the hair plugs out, but this actually proved kind of unnecessary because she had no glue in her head, like none at all. So I actually could take my tweezers, and you guys will see in a second, I'm just plucking the hair out because there's no glue at all. Her head's all weird and dented. I think this is because when they went to like mechanically reroot her, the plastic of this nylon doll head, I think it's a little bit thinner than like the normal Ever After High and Monster High doll heads. If you guys can't find 100% acetone nail polish remover, I recommend picking up extra strength nail polish remover or heavy duty nail polish remover. It just works really, really well for taking off the paint. So I'm using, yet again, another different method for yarn rerooting than I did in the last two videos, but this method has worked the best for me. So what I'm doing is I am tying yarn around whatever this thing is. I don't know what this thing is. Can someone tell me what this thing is? And then I'm unraveling it, and then I'm brushing it out with a cat hair brush. I am straightening it with my hair straightener, soaking it in fabric softener for 10 minutes. After I soak it, I clean it with baby shampoo and then straighten it once more. After all of that, I take the yarn hair and I take my homemade reroot tool that I made out of an X-Acto blade and a needle with like the tippity top of the eye cut off. I think it's called the eye. And then I plunge that yarn hair into the head. And this is about as good as I've gotten yarn hair to look. I was having a problem with my last two videos with the last two methods that I was using where the yarn was poofier at the root because I could not brush it out or straighten it all the way to the root. Like, I could not get the hairbrush or the straightener that close to the head. So it was just two different textures happening, and I just didn't really like it aesthetically. I will have all the products that I use for face ups listed down below, but I had been working on this face for about 30 minutes, and I came to realize that the sealant was just acting really weird. I was like on my very last couple sprays of a can of Mr. Super Clear, and I think because of that it like sprayed weird. So I had to clean the face off with nail polish remover again, and then spray another 3 times with Mr. Super Clear, and then redo the face, which just sucked butt. Like, it sucks when you're like super excited to start a face up and you're like, this is just not working and I don't know why. So after spraying it again 3 times with MSC and waiting 15 minutes between sprays, I start to sketch out the face, and it just was working way better this time. So I start with sketching out the eyes and just kind of like the shape that I want with them, and I also separate the lips. A very common thing I've seen doll artists do, and something that I also do, is I give my dolls quite a bit of wrinkles around their eyes. It just, I don't know, it just looks good on their little, tiny, cute little faces. Kneaded erasers are really awesome for cleaning up pastels in a certain area, and Q-tips are very good for blending. I gave the doll golden brown eyes. I thought it would look really nice and like monochromatic with her hair. I apply tones of brown, blue, pink, and purple to shade in the skin. I always go in with pastels first for the eyebrows, and I always have to clean them up with a kneaded eraser because they usually start off a little bit of a mess. But after that, once I get them like the shape that I want, I take a watercolor pencil and I start to individualize the hairs. I add quite a bit of highlighting and shading to the upper lip, like Cupid's bow area, because I just feel like it gives the lips a cute, pouty look. I layer up many layers of like rosy shading of the cheeks and highlights and shading on the eyelids between sprays of Mr. Super Clear. So I tend to spray about 5 sprays of Mr. Super Clear on my faces, and you should generally kind of spray a layer of Mr. Super Clear whenever you feel like you cannot build up any more detail. Also, I feel the need to say this in like every single doll repaint video. If you get into this hobby and you spray Mr. Super Clear, you need to wear a respirator. It's highly toxic. Speaking on this, I was actually watching Shane Dawson and Sophia Nygaard's video. They did a doll repaint video, and they sprayed the MSC and they were like whiffing it, and I was cringing so hard because I know like how incredibly toxic it is. Even though I cracked open like a new can of Mr. Super Clear, I came to realize that part of the cheek, what I'm looking at, it was not like taking pastel at all for some reason. Like not the whole cheek, but like a certain area of it. It was just really weird. I don't know what is going on with this doll head. I don't know if it's because like maybe it's made of a different kind of vinyl than the normal Monster High and Ever After High dolls are, but it was just acting all sorts of goofy. I add veins with a blue watercolor pencil to the brow bone and temple. With a white watercolor pencil, I add hairs to the brows, and I also add some wrinkles to the lips. The cheeks needed some shimmer, so I took my pink Pearl-X powder and I just added a ton of it pretty much all over to the cheeks, the face, the lips, all of that. With metallic gold paint, I add some gold to the irises, and I just went ham on these lashes. I gave her way too many. I need someone to come and like hold me back, like hold my pencil back when I'm doing lashes, because I always end up adding way too many. I'm pretty sure the reason why I went ham on the lashes is because I was honestly feeling kind of uncomfortable with this doll all around, which is also why I added freckles, because my brain tends to go into like add more details when you don't like what you're doing. I didn't like not like what I was doing, but I just felt uncomfortable because my sealant was acting weird, and so yeah, that's just the thing that I end up doing sometimes artistically, is I try to make things better by adding too much. I wanted to kind of experiment with the white highlight that I gave her eye. I normally just do white dots, but I really like how this turned out. Like, I think it gave her kind of like a cute kawaii look. And here I am, giving her even more eyelashes. Because I am a psychopath. Like, what are you doing? Step away from the lash line, woman. After all dim lashes, I gave her my, I guess, sort of signature swirls that I tend to give every doll repaint. Once all that was done, I sprayed her 3 times with Mr. Super Clear, and yet again it was acting weird because it dried shiny. Like, what is happening with this doll? Like, what? What is going on with my sealant? But yeah, I put some gloss on her eyes and her lips, which is like my favorite step. I love that step. Like I did in my last 2 videos, I am sanding off the molded on panties because I hate them, and I am also, I'm carving off the seam lines. I feel the need to mention, because safety first, that you should wear goggles and a face mask when you sand. Literally anything. To clean the body off, I take non-acetone nail polish remover and wipe her down. Now we're gonna blush the body, yay! So I love this step because I love putting the body and the head back together, because I hate just having like little heads laying around. Yeah, I don't know, it just bothers me. But yeah, so I blush with generally the same colors that I used on the face. I used the same colors on her body. Now on to one of my other favorite parts. I have several favorite parts. I put her big head back on her little body. I used a method that several doll artists recommend if you're getting into making doll clothes, which is taking apart an existing like Monster High or Ever After High dress that you have and getting the pattern from it, like picking apart the sewing and just seeing how it was made. And this was extremely helpful for me because I am very much a visual learner. So it was just really helpful to see how the dress was put together and to kind of take it apart. The first thing that I did was I took the skirt part of the dress and I hemmed it. I also hemmed the front of the top part of the dress. After that, I hemmed the back panels and I sewed them to the front part of the dress, the front top part of the dress. And then I gather stitched the bottom skirt part of the dress and sewed the top and the bottom together. Now for the accessories. So I ended up just using these accessories that the doll came with, which is this pretty cool looking like chest piece and these kind of disjointed shoes, but I ended up painting them black with acrylic paint. Once they dried, I took my metallic gold paint and I dry brushed them. To seal them in, I put a coat of, well actually 2 coats of matte varnish on them. To decorate her accessories, I added pearls to her chest piece and spikes to her shoes. I attached these with super glue. And now to put her clothes back on. So I am adding all the clothes and like accessories that I like painted and made, but I also gave her a pair of JackyOhhh's tights because I just felt like her skirt was hella short. So it just kind of balanced out the look or the space between her skirt and her shoes. And that is the finished doll. So I think I'm going to name her Ayah, which according to Google means miracle in Arabic. And I'm choosing this name for her because I feel like it was a bit of a miracle that she ended up turning out okay. Just between the cheap kind of weirdness of working on this doll and the sealant, the way that it was like giving me shit during the entire process. I just kind of was developing low expectations, but I really do like how she turned out. I think that her outfit's, like, I really like her outfit, honestly, and her hair looks damn good, especially versus like it's about as good as I've gotten yarn hair to look. So I feel like this whole process of doll repainting, at least for me, has been like a very big learning experience, and I feel like with each video I get better in certain areas, or at least I'd like to think that, and it makes me pretty happy. So I hope you guys like how she turned out. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe, makes me happy, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Bye!